I'm still struggling.
All
Tammy,
right.
I'm still struggling with the exercise, but I am doing it. I did get up this morning. I did it first thing, so that was fun to get it done.
That's the best way. If you don't like it, get it out of the way first.
Yeah, it's
'Cause
that horrible
if you have that
digestion.
dangling over your head all
Oh,
day, every day, that's just annoying.
it's torture. It's that book called Eat the Frog. Have you ever read that book?
Yes.
That sounds
Yeah.
so familiar.
Yeah, you do the thing that you don't like first. Eat the frog.
Yep.
And that would make perfect sense because you get it out of the way, you feel good about doing the hard things or the things that you don't like, and
Yep.
that builds self-esteem. So that builds a whole nother momentum.
Yeah. And then what's funny is, so I got up this morning. I get up at 5 so I can have like an hour to myself before my kids start waking up. And then I worked out and went right about 6-ish when my youngest was, or my son was waking up. And then I got going and doing other things. And in my mind, I said, oh, darn it, I have to work out today. And then it felt so good to go, no, wait, I already did it.
Oh, that is. And watch your language. You get to work out.
Totally. I do. Yeah. Yeah.
There's some people who just can't.
I totally get that. That is, I'm glad you caught me on that because I do. I say that when it comes to cooking dinner for my family every night, I get to do it because I also don't like to cook, but I show up every night. So I.
They really appreciate that.
Well, I told him, I said, you know what? I don't love cooking, but I love you guys. So I show up every night with a good attitude.
That's
You
great.
need to,
Do you have a favorite? Go ahead, Evelyn.
you need to have them teach them how to make little recipes. I actually, well, I mean, you can't have fettuccine alfredo, but I homeschooled. I heard that you homeschool, and
Yeah.
I homeschooled, and I taught them cooking. As part of math, like
Yeah.
measuring
And
stuff. Yeah,
yep.
and so
You're going to cut
fettuccine
the recipe in
alfredo.
half or double it. I love that.
Yeah, fettuccine Alfredo was one recipe that I taught them, and it was easy to make, and they loved doing it. And so, just sharing that with you.
You know what? I do that. I do teach them. And my youngest, I've homeschooled them all, but my son wanted to go to school, but my youngest is still home. My other daughter is home, but she does an online course. But
Mhm.
for my youngest, we do the same thing, Evelyn. She makes little treats and things like that as part of her curriculum.
Wow, that's really cool.
I
And I
would think too that if involving them in like peeling a cucumber or a carrot or something or chopping, involving them in that might help them want to eat those vegetables or enjoy or appreciate that vegetables side dish dinner thing, whatever, as well.
Yeah,
And they also say growing your own vegetables and involving the kids in that helps them learn to like them
yeah, we
better
have a
too.
little garden. Our
And I
garden's flopped,
surprised
but we
me.
do have one.
What did you say?
Our garden flopped this year, but this is our second year, and we do have one, and it does help them. And they're super excited to go out and get a honeydew or a cantaloupe. And so, yeah.
That's so cool. I grew up with that stuff too. And I just remember radishes and carrots for the
yeah,
most part. But
me too.
you want to pick it and it's a little tiny carrot, you're like, oh, put it back in.
Or walking out to the garden and being able to take a tomato and just, you know,
Yeah.
If the
Yeah.
tomatoes worms didn't get to them
So
first.
we had when the kids were little, I had them, they would have one day. So we have 7 kids. So each one would pick a special day, it was their special day, and they would meal plan. And then they would help make breakfast, lunch, and dinner for the family. And it was funny because when one of our children went to school, like you have some that went to school, and they said, today's my special day. Well, the teacher had all the kids make birthday cards for them. It wasn't their birthday, it was their special day to help cook.
Oh, that's awesome. How great.
Oh,
And how great that you had 7 kids. Good for you.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, now I have 11 grandchildren.
That's
Oh,
fantastic.
Yeah.
wow.
Well, I only gave birth to 5 of them, but so it's mine has
That's
another.
still a lot.
Is
Yeah.
it?
You got the Brady Bunch.
That's awesome. Fun stuff. Good tips.
Awesome. All right. Well, speaking of exercise and, maybe the lack of desire for it, I'm going to go over, hopefully I change your mind a little bit and give you some insights as to the benefits and why we're doing it and what, if it's a waste of time or if it's doing a body good or whatever. I've been a certified personal trainer since 2001. So I hope you guys brought a lot of questions, and I'll be happy to answer any of those things for you. But I've kind of broken it down into different segments. And so, I will just go ahead and get started here. We got some welcomes, shout outs, and funnies. We'll talk about what fitness actually is. We'll go over the components of fitness, the different types of exercise, the different modalities. I'm only going over 4 this week. But you'll get the idea of what each thing is and what it's good for and why we should care. And of course, Q&A. So I hope you guys brought lots and lots of questions, but we'll just get right into it. So these are our funnies for the day. Our shout outs, we've got Abby, who's been doing really well. She's feeling amazing, and she's already down 12 pounds. Shauna down 16 and Evelyn down 16. I believe that's where we're at. But congratulations to everybody who's suiting up and showing up and all of that. We've got welcome to Valerie, Rory, Patricia, Carrie, Karen, Jean or Jeannie, Jean, I think, Mary Jo, Russell, Amanda, Brenda, Danette, and Michelle. So welcome to all the new people. All right, so how fit are we? So is this, I'm doing a series these next 3 weeks. So this week is fitness part 1, which is the physical fitness section. And so as I mentioned, I'll be going into the different modalities. Next week, we'll be going over mental fitness. And what I mean by that is just mindset strategies, things we can do to shift. Shauna, you were just talking about shifting the way you think and feel about exercise. It's, I got this thing I got to do and I don't want to do it. And then wait, if we get it done early and, if we get out of that self-sabotage mode, that's what next week is hopefully going to help with. Spiritual fitness will be the week after that. It's nothing to do with religion unless you want it to, but it's more about training your body to go into and get out of the fight or flight and get into the rest and digest so that our insides, our guts, and our immune systems and all of our systems are working efficiently. But it's through different modes of ways to get your body there. So that's what the spiritual fitness is about. And then there's financial fitness. And guess what? I will not be talking to you about that because those are the classes I take. So, and I've taken many, many different classes on those. And the good news is I understand, I get a lot of flack. I don't want to count calories. I don't want to track. It's too hard. It's a pain in the butt. Blah, blah, blah. I understand and I know that because guess what I had to do when I took the last financial class I took, which was track everything I spent, track every penny that came in, track everything that went out, put it into categories. Was it a need or a want? All the things. So do I understand what a pain in the butt it is? Yes, I do. But that's just because I just recently did that financial fitness course. So I feel ya, but sometimes it's important. That's just the way it is. All right, so let me move this out of the way. I just figured I would go to the old dictionary and look it up just to get us off to a good start. So physical fitness is a state of health and well-being, specifically the ability to perform aspects of sports, occupations, and daily activities. Physical fitness is generally achieved through proper nutrition, moderate to vigorous exercise, with sufficient rest and recovery. So that is physical fitness. All right, so let's go over some components. All right, so the first component is cardiovascular endurance. And this is basically a measurement on how well you can do an exercise using your whole body that would be either a moderate or an intense, moderate or intensity for an extended period of time. So the longer you can do a thing, the better, the more cardiovascular endurance you have. If we're just start by going up the stairs once, great. We made it all the way up the stairs without stopping halfway up. Eventually, we want to get to the place where we can do that a lot of times so that when we need to, when we're on a hike with friends or family, we can hang in there and stick with it and hang with the group. And also, of course, running through that airport, we want to be able to catch that plane. Don't want to miss the flight. So we want to be able, with suitcase and maybe grandbabies in tow, we want to be able to run through that airport. And so I don't want to be out of breath halfway to that terminal. All right, body composition. Now, body composition, some of you, like I ask you this each week on the weekly check-in. Some of you have a scale that measures body fat, some of you don't. But I put the chart up here. So if you want to just find your gender and then find your age. So if you're a female, 60 years old, and you're between 24 and 35.9, you can see that you're within a normal range. So if you guys want to take a screenshot of that, just so you have that, let me go ahead and take a screenshot with your phone, or else write down the numbers that apply to you, your age and your gender, and that way you know what you're aiming for, you know what you're striving for. Do I need your body fat in the weekly check-in? No, but it's just helpful. Like anything else, the more we're tracking things, like our finances, are tracking every little penny that comes in, every little penny that goes out. The more accurate we are with tracking everything, the more we can manage it. So the same thing is with our weight. If weight loss is on your radar, the more, okay, yeah, we see our weight and then maybe your inches, that might be another way to measure. And then your body fat is also another way to measure. You're not in a plateau unless your weight and your body fat and your circumference, if you took your measurements around your body, if the circumference, your body fat, and your weight all stay the same for 2 weeks, that's when you know when you're in a plateau. If any of those three are moving, you're not in a plateau. So if you don't have a scale that measures your body fat and the scale didn't move, you're still at the same weight you were last week, if you can find a way to measure your body fat or measure yourself, that might help you get away from being discouraged back into being encouraged. Flexibility training. Yeah, this is your body's ability to move through an unrestricted, pain-free range of motion. So this Friday at 8:30 Pacific time, and that's just only time I could do it, I'm going to take you guys through a stretch class. So if you want to join, have a mat, bring a water bottle, just some comfy clothes. You don't need shoes per se, unless you want to. But just come and enjoy and get some ideas on how to stretch, the right ways to do it, and I'll go over the wrong ways as well. I'll talk a little bit more about that today. Muscle strength is the amount of force that you can put out, like basically how much weight you can lift, how strong are you? And then muscle endurance, it's just not how much you can do, but how long can you do it? So again, if we're picking up that grandchild and we have to hold them and carry them through that airport while we're running, that would be more endurance. And so there's all different ways to create muscle endurance. And practicing and rehearsing and training is how we get there. So let's get into all of that. Oh, last one, we've got skills. And we lose these as we age if we don't continue to practice them. We want speed, we want agility, where you're kind of going side to side, like these guys playing soccer. It looks like they're playing soccer. Or if you play pickleball or tennis, anything or basketball, anything where you're kind of going side to side, you want to be agile, because if you have a good agility, it will help prevent you from falling. Balance, same thing, helps prevent us from falling. Coordination, reaction time, we need that for driving, of course. Or if we're about to fall, if we can react faster and grab something quicker, it's going to save us from all of that too. So these are important skills that we want to continue to practice. And I have a personal training client still. I've had her for so many years. We're just stuck to each other. But we work on a lot of those things as well as just the strength training. All right, so let's go over the different types. We've got cardiovascular exercise, which is anything that gets your heart rate up. We've got strength training, which is anything that has resistance to it. I'm going to go over all these in detail. High intensity interval training, which is next level. And then, as I mentioned, flexibility training. So let's dig right in. All right, so what is cardiovascular exercise? It's basically anything that gets your heart rate up. I see this all the time, all the time, all the time. In the weekly check-in sheet, under activities, I just see walking. It will be helpful to me and you is if you can say I walked for 20 minutes or 40 minutes or an hour or whatever it is, and my heart rate was, or my heart rate went up to, whatever the case, whatever that is. So Monday night, we went over what's called the Carbonin formula, where you do some math and you figure out your best target heart rate. But the simple math is basically 180 minus your age. That's the heart rate you're aiming for if you want to be in a fat burning zone. So some of the benefits to cardiovascular workouts is you're burning calories right here, right now. I mean, who doesn't want to burn a few extra calories, especially if we ate a little too much at that party last weekend, right? It is great for your heart and your lungs and your vascular system. As I mentioned, when we do cardiovascular exercise, that means our heart rate is coming up. Our body is demanding and is requiring additional oxygen and nutrition to each and every cell, specifically extra to the muscles, because they're the ones getting us there, right? If we are living in a sedentary lifestyle and not getting our heart rate up ever, those veins and arteries get real stiff. It's called atherosclerosis. And they get really stiff and they get really hard. So that when you do have to climb up those stairs, or you do have to climb up a mountain or a hill or whatever, or an airport, those veins and arteries can't stretch out and let more blood through like it was designed to do. And it also, the cardiovascular helps keep the epithelial cells, which is what's lining those veins and arteries, which will determine your heart health. So for those two reasons, it's very important to exercise your heart and your lungs and your vascular system on a regular basis. And the best way to track it is to track your heart rate. So if it takes you 10 minutes to go around the block, check your heart rate and say, okay, I got it up to 120. I want you to do the same workout over and over and over again. Your heart rate should be coming down if your cardiovascular system is improving. What I also would suggest is you want to up it. So, okay, I did that. I went around the block. It took me 10 minutes. Now try to go around the block in 9 minutes. So you're going a little bit faster. Now you're pushing yourself a little bit past what you're used to. Because like I said, like about everything else, your calories, your workouts, everything else, the body does adapt. So we've got to do something different after a while. So if for a month, you walk around that same block for that same 10 minutes, after about a month, you definitely want to push that. Either going to walk around twice, or you're going to push it to go 9 minutes and see where your heart rate goes then. But it's really, really important for your heart and your lung health. It's very detoxifying for your body. Every time we exhale, that's a detoxification. All of that, the carbon dioxide, if you go to a mirror and you kind of breathe on it like that, all that kind of moisture, that's the junk in your lungs, the toxins in your body trying to get out. So it's very detoxific. Also, if you're sweating, that's also another way to detoxify the body. So between the extra breaths and the extra sweats, we're detoxifying the body. It's really great for circulation and healing. If you have a cut on your arm, the best way for it to heal is for the blood to get over there and to feed it the nutrients, and that's how it heals. So if you have a hurt joint, like a hurt hip or a hurt muscle or hurt something, and we have good circulation, we're going to get plenty of blood to that area, and the healing will commence. Also, it's going to improve your sleep. Cardiovascular, you'll sleep better on nights that you work your butt off in that, on that treadmill or in that dancing or in that gym or on that hike or on that bike ride or swimming or whatever the case may be. There's so many other benefits. This is the very tiny short list. We went over this on Monday. It's great for your brain health. It's great for your mood. It's great for just your skin because you're detoxifying. Just really super, super beneficial. All right, so let's go into the other modality, strength training. This is my friend. The benefits here is it builds lean body mass. And by the way, if I haven't said it 100 times, I'll say it 101. The more lean body mass you have, the faster you burn calories. The more calories you burn while you sleep. So while cardiovascular has a fabulous benefit of burning calories right here, right now, when you do strength training and you build those lean muscles, while you're sitting reading a book or while you're working on your computer or sitting here watching this presentation, you're burning more calories. So it's a 24 hours a day versus just that 40 minutes on the treadmill or on that mountain. So keep in mind that they're both very important for those two different reasons. It speeds up your metabolism, as I said. And strength training can specifically target belly fat. People, you can't really spot reduce. So if you have a big butt and you're trying to exercise on your butt to make your butt smaller, that's not the case. You're going to build lean muscle there. You're going to build lean muscle in your arms, your chest, your back, your core, your legs, all of the things. But when you do that, it will help eliminate some of that belly fat. And because it's a stress reducer too. It can increase your libido because it can increase your testosterone levels. So that's good. Gaining strength and muscle endurance. So you can get stronger and you'll be able to endure for longer. So when you do high sets and not as heavy of a weight, so maybe you do 20 sets or 20 repetitions per set on a weight that it's heavy, but it's not too heavy. Or if you want to gain more strength, you're going to go heavy weights, maybe only 8 repetitions per set or 6 repetitions per set. And I would encourage you to go both rounds. So some days lift really, really heavy, fewer repetitions. Some days go higher repetitions, a little bit lower in the weight. And that way you get both. And that's how you're going to get that lean body. Another really important factor with strength training is it does increase bone density. If you think about it, you hear more women getting, osteoporosis over the men. Why? Because they have more muscle than we do. So they don't get it as soon or as early in life as we do. So the way to stay.
Is it because of the calcium that there's a problem with your bone density? Is it calcium?
Well, you want to have all the minerals in your bones. So you want to make sure when you're taking the calcium, you're taking magnesium and other minerals because they're going to help scooch that calcium from your blood into your bones and teeth, which is where you want it. Otherwise, if you just take a calcium by itself, you probably just have calcium-rich blood. And yet you could even end up, I don't want to scare anybody to not take their calcium, could lead to kidney stones if it's not being absorbed right. But as far as strength training is concerned, our bone density will increase once we build that lean muscle. Did I answer the question?
Yes. I guess, because we're not, we can't have any dairy. Does that affect our bone density?
Oh, there's so many other minerals in so many other vegetables. Eat a broccoli or a cauliflower, you'll get plenty of calcium.
Okay.
It's really, look at it. Are they a good source of calcium? Yes. but you can't absorb the calcium without the vitamin D, without magnesium, which is why they all the milks on the shelf say fortified with vitamin D, which is good because there's not a lot of foods high in vitamin D either. So that's good
Okay.
if you're having milk or dairy products.
Is that even for raw milk?
Um,
I
Well,
don't think it
raw milk
says
wouldn't have to be
fortified.
the
fortified.
difference with raw milk is it's not pasteurized, which means the enzymes from the milk are not destroyed. And that's why a lot of us do have a dairy sensitivity or even a dairy allergy or have a dairy response like sinus buildup or just inflammation or gut issues. We have those kinds of issues because the pasteurized milk or the pasteurized yogurt or whatever dairy you're having, the enzymes that were naturally occurring in it are destroyed. So your body can't break it down. So it's like a foreign thing, which
Yeah.
causes the inflammation, which causes all those other problems. Did I answer that question?
Well, I think you did. So, because I don't see fortified vitamin D on our raw milk. And so,
Oh, yeah. See if I see what you're asking. Yeah. So, yeah, if it's not, it may not be fortified. They don't have to fortify anything. But I think it's just kind of a sales thing too. Oh, look, it's got extra vitamin D. We should get that.
yeah, that's like Captain Crunch when they say fortified with all those vitamins and
That's right, because they removed all of them and they sprinkled a couple back in.
I told my kids, that's still junk food. We're not buying it.
It's what I was listening to Dr. Mark Hyman this morning, and he called it a science experiment. He goes food like substances. He goes it's food like substance. He goes some of that stuff is like a science experiment. It is not food. It is not food.
Totally.
Uh,
God bless you, Shauna.
Thank you.
all right. So, and yeah, as I mentioned, so with this one, you're going to be burning calories 24/7, which is cool. So when, you guys are in this thing for pretty much 12 weeks, and then of course, hopefully you live this lifestyle. So when we do go out and have a pizza or a dessert or something, that's kind of not as healthy, the body's just got a really efficient metabolism and it'll burn right through it. So if you imagine if you have a marshmallow and you throw it on a campfire, but the campfire is just smoldering, it might not even burn it. But you throw it in a campfire that's on fire, it'll burn it right up. So we want to think of training our metabolism to move faster. It's going to be through strength training. So what is strength training? What qualifies as strength training? And anything that has resistance. So it can be free weights, like what she's holding is a dumbbell. There's barbells, which you might make if you're laying on your chest, you're pressing up that big bar with the weights on the sides. The machines at the gym, those are a great place to start. They keep you in good alignment. So I would definitely recommend the machines for a beginner. Also, if you're going to the gym, they have the cables. Try to use those too because you can move around a lot. So it forces more muscle fibers when you're using the cables or dumbbells because you can move and your body has to engage a little bit more so than say the machines. But the machines keep you in a good alignment. So if you're a beginner, start with the machines.
But do you have like something to start with, like what machines to start with? Because when you go, like tomorrow, I'm going to go early in the morning and there's going to be no one there, like to show me.
Well, my best example would be go to module 5 and you could mimic. So if you're going to go there and just check out all of the exercises, whichever mood of a body part you're into working. So for example, if you're going to work chest tomorrow, just watch all the chest exercises, make some notes. And then if somebody that works there say, can you show me the machines that work my chest? And you'll see the similarities as to what I'm showing you, as to what the machine's going to have you do.
Okay.
But you can even stay home and do because the exercise I'm showing you is stuff you can do from home.
Okay.
So either way, but I love that you're just setting yourself up. You said, when do I start exercise? I said day 16. You're already set up to go to the gym on day 16. I mean, that's just, you're really setting yourself up for that win. And so kudos to you on that. So you can go either way. You can do it at home, or you can look at the exercises, get familiar with which kind of joint actions and joint movements cause the chest muscles to work. And I broke the body down into the four major parts. So it's chest, legs, back, and core. You cannot work your chest and you cannot work your back without your arms. So don't worry about trying to get your bicep curls in, because that's what, as a trainer, I worked, it figures the only two gyms I really ever worked at were both all women's gyms. I didn't do that on purpose. It just landed that way. But women typically that join all women's gyms are usually intimidated by the other traditional gyms. So I could see the fear in their face. They go walk in, they're all excited, they got this new membership, and they look left and they look right, and you could see the panic on their face. And then they head straight for the treadmill. And I'm like, oh, please just lift some weights, do some weights, please do some weights. I mean, treadmill's important, but do some weights. But if you kind of have an idea of those major muscle groups, then you don't have to, or else I'd see them do the bicep curl, because everybody knows how to do that, but that's the smallest, one of your smaller muscle groups. If I'm working my back, I'm already going to work my biceps. If I'm pulling down, pulling center, pulling upward, if I'm pulling, as you see, I bend my elbow.
Yeah.
That means I have to be working my bicep. So on back day, I might add some biceps, but that's later down the road. I just want to get you started. So there's that. Resistance bands, as I mentioned, your own body weight, squats, lunges, push-ups, sit-ups, side lunge, planks. All of those are body weights. You don't need any equipment for that. Bar, which is kind of a ballet form of exercise. You can find plenty of bar YouTube exercise workouts. Yoga or Pilates. I would put all of those in a strength training category, because a lot of them is using your own body weight. I'm a big fan of yoga. In fact, I was a yoga teacher for a lot of years as well, too. So let's see. All right, so let's move on to the next category. We've got high intensity interval training. And what this lady, the picture of this lady, those are called battle ropes. So if you do something timed, like those battle ropes are really heavy. And if you're going really fast, you will get your heart rate up and you will be working your muscles. This is very intense. Those battle ropes, they look easy, but it's not. Especially the thicker it is, they're heavy.
My son was in the Marine Corps and he had some of those. They were really heavy.
Yeah, yeah. Crazy. All right, so what's the deal with high intensity interval training? You burn more fat and calories within a 24-hour period versus steady state cardio. So when you do your cardio and you do 180 minus your age, that's your fat burning zone. So say you did that number for 20 minutes, that would be considered steady state cardio, or 10 minutes or 15 minutes or whatever. So then when you get off that treadmill, or you're done with that walk and you stop the exercise, you'll have what's called afterburn. And so afterburn, you're still burning more calories, but then it starts to slow down, slow down, slow down. And then you eventually go back to your normal metabolism, your normal calorie burn. When you do high intensity interval training, the afterburn lasts longer. So that's why it's a really good idea for strength, for weight loss, because, and you're getting both. You're getting your heart rate up and you're working those muscles. So that's kind of the difference there. It increases your cardiovascular and you're gaining muscle, so that's good. It increases HGH and testosterone. HGH is your human growth hormone. That's your anti-aging. That's your energy. That's what's going to help you maintain lean muscle, as well as the testosterone will also help you maintain lean muscle. So by doing high intensity interval training, we get a boost of those two things. So that's really super cool and awesome. And it takes less time. If you tell me you did high intensity interval training for 20 minutes, I'm going to call you a rock star if you did it in full steam ahead, because that's a lot. That's pretty hard. You really don't need any equipment. The beauty of high intensity, you can you can do it as with strength training exercises, or you can do it with cardiovascular exercises, or you can alternate both. So let's go over what that even means. So high intensity is when you are doing something to the best of your ability as fast as you can, but for short periods of time. So there's a Tabata app, which is free. And let me see if I can go back there. Yeah. The Tabata app is free, and typically it's 8 cycles with 20 seconds work, 10 seconds rest. 20 seconds work, 10 seconds rest. 20-10, 20-10, 8 cycles, which is going to equal 4 minutes. I'm telling you what, if you do battle ropes for just 20 seconds, you get only 10 seconds rest, and then you do 20 seconds, you do that 8 times, your heart will be jumping out of your chest, and you will have noodles for arms. Your arms will feel like those ropes. I mean, it is really an intense workout. Another option is you could do battle ropes for the 20 seconds, rest for 10 seconds, and then maybe do squats for 10 seconds. So it's more of a strength exercise. And then the next round, 20 seconds battle ropes, 20 seconds squats, and so on. So you can alternate with the Tabata app. You can also change the times. If you need more than 10 seconds rest, you might need the full 20 seconds rest. You might need a minute rest. It's not easy. It's really not. But basically, what high intensity is, you're burning a lot of calories in a short period of time. And the idea is to hopefully let your heart rate come back down. So if you're not at least somewhat, if your heart rate hasn't somewhat lowered before you go to the next round, you might need a longer rest period so that your heart rate can come down. It also helps regulate your blood sugars. I don't think I have that on this list, but it can also help regulate blood sugars. And again, you do a lot, you get a lot. But I don't recommend this first. I know it says it in the book, but I would rather see you guys go through Module 5. If you're new, go through Module 5 and get your lunges and your squats and your form on all these exercises correct before you start doing them really fast. So if you're doing squats really fast, but if you're doing them wrong, you're going to blow out your knee. So if we learn how to do them right and knowing where your knee should be lined up, and I show you all that in those videos, what to look for. And I would get a trainer for a little bit so that they can teach you proper form for certain things. Or take the group exercise classes and get in the front row so the teacher can see you and tell her you're new and tell her you're open to any suggestions. Because the ones who are new always go to the back of the room. Trust me, I used to be a group teacher. The new people, they don't try to hide in the corner. And I'm like, honey, I wouldn't call them out, but I wanted to. Get in front so I can help you. Get in front, because if you're doing it wrong, I want to catch it early. So practice your good form first, then start doing it at a timed, speedier pace with this high intensity interval. Next up, we've got flexibility training. This is really, really good for prevention of injury, increased range of motion. It releases stress and cortisol. Cortisol is your belly fat hormone. So anytime we can release stress in our body, the better it is, so that we're not on cortisol overload and having adrenals just firing all the time, and we end up with adrenal fatigue. It's part of self-care. I'll tell you, it's mostly underrated because as a group exercise instructor, I would teach a kickboxing class, or I would teach a muscle class, or whatever, buns and guns, or abs and assets, or, whatever I was teaching. And then it came time for the stretch, and some of the ladies would just get up and grab their things and run out. I'm like, this is the best part. And almost as important, I would say equally important, because that's when you want to stretch, is when your body's nice and warm. You don't want to stretch when you're nice and cold. I'm going to go over more do's and don'ts tomorrow, or Friday. But also some flexibility actually works our muscles. So we think we're not doing anything for our muscles other than stretching them. We absolutely are working them. The trick is you want to go to a place that feels like you're stretching. If you get to the place which feels painful, back off a little bit, release a little bit. It should feel good. It should feel very relaxing. If it doesn't feel right, modify your movement. Bend your, like in this case of this lady on the ground, bend your knee if you can't go that high. Bend it. That's okay. She's trying to stretch her hamstring, which is, I can't even tell you how important it is for the rest of the body. Tight hamstrings lead to low back issues, like a lot, and hip issues. So if we're stretching that and getting good hip openers, which I'll show you Friday, you can really alleviate all that pain. Years ago, I had low back pain, and I started doing yoga, and it just occurred to me one day. I went, oh my God, my back pain is completely gone. And the only thing different was that I was doing yoga probably about 5 times a week. I didn't even go to the gym. I just went to yoga only. It was right after I closed my gym, so I didn't sign up for another gym. I just went to the yoga studio, trying to do something different. But it completely, my back pain went, I forgot about it. I forgot about my back pain. I forgot I had back pain. And then I realized, like, oh my God, I don't have back pain. This is awesome. All right, so if I didn't talk about nutrition when we're on the fitness topic, I would be cheating you. Now, I really want to talk more about exercise this week, but I do want to get into this a little bit because you cannot outrun and you cannot out-exercise a bad diet. You know, all the inflammation in our bodies, the number one causer of it is food. And then there's other causers of it. There's environment, there's medicines, there's infections, all these other things. But food can be your medicine or your poison. So we want to make sure we're doing it right. So just setting yourself up for the win, planning out your meals, or at least knowing, you know, what your proteins, if you have a backup plan. Like I always have individually wrapped fish or chicken or seafood or meats in my freezer along with frozen vegetables. That way, what I think I'm going to have for dinner, if it's not there or it went bad or it wasn't very much, I thought I had more, I always have a backup plan. So if just having a backup plan will save you, because Uber Eats and drive-through comes real easy if it's 7 o'clock at night and you're hungry and you didn't really plan anything. Having it pre-chopped at least. If it's not even all the way cooked, like I show you guys in Kitchen Hacks Week, I pre-chop my onions, I pre-chop my celery, my carrots, and my bell peppers. Spinach, I keep spinach in the freezer. But having that, it's already chopped. So if I go to make a food, you know, what do I start any recipe with? It's usually some of those things, if not all of those things. So if I get at least started, it's chopped for me. At least I'm setting myself up for the win, because it gives me, now I have time to make a dinner. If I have to pull out a cutting board and a knife and do all the dishes, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Understanding your portions, tracking. What time is it? Yeah. Portions on the proteins, you want to get between 4 to 6 ounces. I would say that's a good number to aim for. Your carbohydrates, half a cup. Your vegetables, half your plate at least at every meal, ideally. And in one of my segments of the course I'm taking, one of the doctors, well, it's for detoxification, was 75% of your plate at every meal should be vegetables or plant-based. But I'm good with half your plate. Tracking, just because it's important to understand what you're getting, and so you know how many calories are in the oils or in the salad dressings, and you get a little bit educated on where your calories are coming from, so you know where to cut if you need to cut, or where to add if you need to add. And understanding your macronutrients. There's basically 3. There's carbs, there's fats, and there's proteins. But I like to add a 4th category because I want you to limit your carbs for the glycemic reasons. So we don't put that body into fats burning or fat storage. We want to stay in fat burning. So we limit the carbs, but we want to make sure we're having lots and lots and lots of vegetables, lots of greens, yellows, oranges, green leafies, cruciferous vegetables primarily. That's your broccoli, your cauliflower, your cabbage, your Brussels sprouts, arugula. Getting those half your plate. And fats, I don't want you guys to worry about it, but just so you know, I'd like to see at least 15 to 20 grams per meal, if not a little bit more. As long as it's plant-based fats, like avocados, avocado oils. Now, salmon, the fat in salmon is very nutritious. So I guess that would be in an animal, but I would encourage that as well. All right. Where's my thing here? All right. These two are really important and they do go underrated. If we are not hydrating enough, if we don't drink enough water, it has a lot of negative side effects. But one of the things is if we're not drinking enough water, we sometimes mistake thirst for hunger. Oh, you have to leave. Okay, sorry. Someone said bye. All right, so when we are hydrated, it reduces hunger. It helps cleanse your liver, which is your body's only organ that helps you metabolize fat. It supports digestion. It helps increase your exercise capabilities. If you're dehydrated, you can't get through a good workout. It helps the body break down fat. It improves your skin. Your skin likes to stay hydrated too. And it'll help improve your quality of BMs, or bowel movements, and can reduce fatigue in the body. As far as sleep, that's also underrated. It can help regulate your hormones, primarily your HGH, your human growth hormone, which is released between midnight and 2 p.m. So you've got to be in that right sleep cycle for that. That's the one that helps you maintain that muscle. That's when it gives you all your energy. It also regulates ghrelin and leptin, which are your hunger and satisfied hormones. If you have one night's sleep that's bad, you are going to be craving comfort foods tomorrow. That's just a given. Sleep improves your metabolism. It can increase your motivation, increase your energy. It decreases your food intake. Again, if you had a bad sleep, all you want to do is eat to feel better. It helps reduce cravings when we've had a good sleep. Do you know that HGH is reduced between 60 to 75% if we have a horrible night's sleep? So we really that's a little tidbit I got from this course, which I thought was very interesting. And also,
can you repeat that, Tammy? I'm so sorry. Can you repeat that?
If we have a really good night's So if we have a bad night's sleep, it can reduce the production of HGH by between 60 and 75%.
Wow.
And also, if we're tired, what are we going to do when we get to the gym? I don't have any energy. I don't feel like it. And I probably won't even go. So exercise is hard enough. We don't need to make our bodies not want to do it more. So really practicing good sleep hygiene is really important. I might go into that tomorrow, I think. I think I might do a deeper dive into that tomorrow as well. All right, so kind of recap, physical fitness is exercise plus nutrition. You do need a good, healthy attitude about it. But the reason why we do all those things is so we can have a life. We can go dancing, we can go kayaking and hiking and connecting and bonding with our family and our friends. We can play pickleball and tennis and water ski and snow ski and travel and take this excursions and rappelling and hiking in these really wonderful foreign places, playing with our grandkids, going to festivals or places like Disneyland or something, where if you're out of shape and sedentary, you're going to be sitting down a lot. And those kinds of places are expensive. You want to be able to do as much with those kids as possible. going to weddings and be able to dance and have a good time without being tired halfway through that first song. And these are the reasons why we do all these exercises, what we're doing. They all of them encompass, will make us able to do these things for a lot longer in life. So does anybody have any questions? Feel free to unmute and ask if that's the case.
Tammy,
Yes,
it's Lisa. Um, this is not a question about exercise, but if you're okay with me asking a question off topic.
absolutely. That's what this
Okay.
time is for.
Okay. So I started yesterday. At the end of the day, I got a massive headache. This morning I woke up with it. I didn't take anything, was better, and now I have a massive headache again. Is that a detox symptom?
It absolutely is. And if
Okay.
you check out, I believe it's page 11 in the book.
Okay. All right.
Um,
I wasn't sure if I was getting sick, you know?
It's going to feel like
Or-
you're coming down with something.
Okay.
It's
All right.
very likely to feel like you're coming down with something.
And is that have to do with the supplements?
A little bit, let me see.
I don't have the book in front of me. I'm sorry, I'm out.
Yeah, no worries, no worries, no worries. I'm just trying to make sure I'm sending you to the right page. Oh, yes, it's actually page 13.
Okay.
The first thing on the list of the healing crisis is headache.
Oh, great. Well,
So
good.
just so you guys know, I have it in front of me, so I'll just read it. Headaches, skin breakouts, bowel sluggishness, diarrhea, fatigue, sweating, frequent urination, congestion, nasal discharge, and body aches. So if anybody is brand new and they're feeling any of those things, understand that A, it's working, and B, it will go away, but unfortunately it will be a few days. So you might have another few days to go. If
Okay.
you do need to take a Tylenol, you can. If you can tolerate without it, I would say try that.
Okay.
Tylenol is not great for the liver, but I
Right.
don't want you to have to get to the place where you can't do your job and you can't
Right.
go to work, or you can't do just basic day-to-day things.
Right.
But I'm so glad you brought that up. I appreciate that question because that's very normal. And is it because of the supplements? Sure. Once we ask you, okay, get rid of coffee and bread and gluten and dairy and red meat, all these things and sugars, and then we say, and so we're getting rid of all that stuff, and the body's kind of used to having those things. And then we double whammy that with supplements that are literally pulling the toxins from your body. Your body's going, wait, what? What the heck is going on here? Which is
Right.
why we don't suggest starting any exercise in the beginning of this program, because your body's going through all those changes. And
Right.
between the elimination of foods and the introduction of body purifiers, literally, you're going through too many changes. So if you want to exercise in your first week or so, you certainly can. But if you walk into that gym and go, I just don't feel this, I'm not feeling it today, go to the mats, go do some stretch and call it done. Give yourself that grace because your body is going through a healing crisis. Thank you for that question. Great question.
Thank you so much. Oh, I have one other question. On the sleep that you're telling us to write down, is it from, so like day one, is the sleep is after the day?
What?
So like day one, how did you sleep? So it would be last night going into day two,
That
right?
doesn't really matter. You
Doesn't
just,
really matter.
I
Okay.
mean, as long as you can start to see patterns, like, okay, crappy, 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 getting better, getting better, getting better.
Okay.
Oh, pretty good, pretty good. Oh my God, I slept great. I didn't wake up once. So if you start to see progression,
Okay.
but if it's last night or yesterday or I don't know, you don't have to turn the page back to go, okay, well, last night was
Okay.
whatever information you have, is as long as you can start to see for yourself.
Okay. And after a week, that's when we send in our logs with the survey.
Correct. So if you
Okay.
started yesterday
Yeah.
was Tuesday. So every Tuesday will be your day to turn your stuff in.
Great. Perfect.
Mhm.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Lisa, Lisa, I drank more water and my headache went away. Oh, that's right. Evelyn said by drinking more water really helped push those toxins out, which makes
Yeah.
sense.
I've been drinking and I've been peeing, excuse me, peeing a lot. So I just think it's my body just crashing. Like I feel like I just want to crawl in bed. Like that's how cruddy I feel. So, but
Were
that's
you
okay.
were you a coffee drinker?
Not really. I mean, I love coffee, but I don't drink it daily at all. Every now and
Okay.
again.
So
Yeah.
it's not coming off the coffee then, because that's
No,
usually the culprit. I love
no.
it.
Mm-mm.
I
Well,
think
you're
mine was
lucky
sugar.
you. What,
I love,
Mine was
I
sugar
have
when
high
I first
energy.
started.
what did you say, Evelyn?
I think mine was sugar, getting
Oh,
all the junk. I think that's what the headaches were, was I was just, I don't know. I mean, in the crisis mode, but that's
Right.
what I think it was.
I mean, I do eat fruit, and so you're not eating it. You know what I mean? So, maybe,
yeah.
maybe.
I used to eat a lot of fruit, probably ate fruit every day.
Yeah, me too.
Many now.
Me too. Well, thank you again for answering that, Tammy. I've got to run to the food store.
No,
I gotta
no
get some
problem.
food.
No problem. I'm glad to have you guys all here. Does
Okay.
anybody else have anything?
I want to ask you a question about, I mean, I've been looking into like body wraps because I read something that that's supposed to be good for us. Have you ever heard about
Yes,
that?
yes. Well, we used to do them in our office.
Oh,
Um,
that's where I read that you had
that's where,
body.
yeah. So we had the whole body vibration. We had wraps. We had far infrared sauna. We had oxygen therapy. We had
The red light
a couple
therapy.
other things. Um, but yeah, so what happens, and you could go to a spa if you wanted to. Ours was not a spa, it was different. But the idea with wraps is it's pulling toxins from your body.
So the
And
lady, yeah.
you lose inches. You do lose inches.
So she said they don't do wrap, she said. So they do something where they wrap like maybe your leg, put some type of lotion or something, and then wrap it in like saran wrap, she said. So I thought that was interesting because in Michigan,
I can't
it
speak to,
wasn't.
I don't
Yeah,
know
so I
what
didn't
that
want to do
is.
anything until I talked to you about, would that be, because that's not what I
So
was looking
I would
for.
get more information like what is the benefit? I just ask them straight up, what is the benefit of the wrap? What is it going to do for my body? What are the negative side effects, if any? I mean, it might have some negative side effects. It may not. I don't know what kind of ingredients are they using. Those might be some kind of questions you might ask.
Okay, because it was different. Like in Michigan, they soaked their rags in something,
Mhm.
some herbs or whatever, and then they would wrap you. But they don't have that here. I haven't seen that here. I don't know. So,
Just Google day spa near me,
okay,
and then start calling them and see if they have those, and
okay.
see what their benefits are. They're not cheap.
Yeah, she said it was like $100.
Oh,
For,
that's cheap.
well, she said no for like one area. So
Well,
if it's just
there
leg,
you go. Yeah,
yeah,
there you
one
go.
area, and not for your whole body. Just
Yeah, yeah. So for a whole body, it's probably going to be closer to two,
yeah.
depending on where you are. If you're going in a luxury spa versus the little mom and pop spa place down the street, might be different. But
And then I seen they have like you can go on like Amazon or something, and they have these vibration scales.
the whole body vibration plate.
Oh, a vibration plate. Okay.
Yep. And that will be good for detoxification, lymphatic drainage, really good for that. That will also help build bone density. It does work your muscles a little bit, so you're firing up some muscle fibers.
So do you know a brand of those
No,
plates?
we had commercial grade brands in our office, but what I would do is go to not YouTube, Amazon, and look at ratings and look at why they liked it or why they didn't like it.
Okay.
Because it might not be a concern for you. Well, it didn't tell me the time in China or something. I don't know.
And then
You
they
know,
have go on. Sorry.
well,
Okay.
they have different features, and it may be a feature you don't care about. I don't know. So just read why they didn't like it or why they did like it. If you look
Okay.
at reviews.
Okay. And then I looked at that. So they have like a red light therapy or something with a sauna, but and it makes you sweat. but
The
I
far
don't-
infrared, those are going to be easier to find.
Okay, and I've
Far
seen this.
Yeah, so sometimes gyms have them, but if you go to a far infrared sauna studio near me or something, I'd signed up for one several weeks ago, because they had the compression therapy, they had the far infrared, then they had the cold plunge, and then you get in the hot tub, you go back in the cold plunge, and you get back in the hot tub, and then they had the near infrared, which is really good for the skin.
Oh,
So, and they had a deal. So I I got 5 sessions of that. So there, I don't know where you live, but maybe there's something near you like
yeah,
that.
yeah, they had like you can try this thing. It was $20 for the first time, and then it's $49 after that. And it's like it sounds like it's like a spa type thing that you get in, and you're gonna sweat, and it has the red light on it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, if that's for deep healing, deep detoxification, it does burn extra calories.
okay. All right. I was just
I mean,
checking
it's
out.
not going to be a substitute for exercise. So as a personal
Oh, no,
trainer, I hate to say, well, just get in the sauna and it'll burn all these hundreds of calories. I'm like, it did not get your heart pumping. It didn't exercise your veins and arteries. It didn't get the muscles, you know. Is it where it supposedly burns a lot of extra calories.
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to exercising. I worked out all the time. Actually, I was frustrated because it didn't help, you know what I mean? It seemed like it wasn't really helping. So I'm
Yeah.
kind of anxious to see how this is going to work now that I'm eating different. So,
Well, I'm excited for you.
me too. Well, I'm learning
All right.
a lot. You're an excellent coach.
Oh, thanks.
You are.
Well, thank you very much. Anybody else? Questions, comments?
How are you doing, Patricia?
I'm doing okay.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining me today and all of your participation or even just being here. Thank you for that. And I will see you guys all next time. Bye for now.
All right, thanks a lot. Okay, take care. Okay, bye-bye.